Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am finally going to talk about my divorce. I have been dreading this video for a really long time. I feel like if I don't just like go for it, I'm never gonna film it. So I think I'm gonna call this series, like, obviously this isn't like a light subject, but I think I'm gonna start a series called Let's Spill the Tea, and it's gonna be kind of like about drama of my life. My life is very dramatic actually. I don't talk about a lot of stuff just because it's so dramatic all the time. I'm probably gonna talk about like relationships, dates, things like stalkers, like situations like that, because unfortunately I've had a lot of not so great experiences or weird experiences, wild experiences. I have stuff recently that has been going on. I'm going through like a lot of other crazy stuff at the same time with it, so it's just like there's just so much always going on. It's ridiculous. I think I'm gonna just start a series called Let's Spill the Tea, and it's just gonna be the tea of my life. Eventually, if you guys are like really into it, maybe I'll start taking like submissions from you guys and we can talk about the crazy dramatic stuff going on in your guys' lives, and we'll just kind of see how this goes. I'm really excited to do, it's like a story time but with a twist, I guess, so it's not like every other story time in the world. It's gonna be like its own little cute series with a name, and it's gonna just be the drama of life that, you know, we all go through. Let's get into this. I don't have anything planned out. This is gonna just be like going. So this video might be all over the place, so I apologize now. My brain is probably gonna be like beep, 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 beep. I'm not gonna go into like massive detail either because I'm not trying to ruin my ex-husband's life, so that's not the goal here. I just kind of want to explain because like I get asked constantly if I'm still married, and it's honestly, it's not annoying, but it's like it's never gonna go away at this point, it feels like, because it's a constant question I get from like friends, family members, guys that are like interested in me randomly. They're always like, oh well, I stalked you on this and I found this. Well, I don't know what to tell you. So I am divorced legally. In the state of Colorado, it takes 91 days from filing your divorce to get divorced. They give you that grace period just in case you guys work it out or can figure it out so you can get back together if you want, or you just wait 91 days and then you're finally legally divorced. So basically we got married in October of 2019 on the 18th. It was good for like a week. And then everything just slowly started like falling apart between us. We weren't getting along anymore. He had a really hard time with certain things, and like he made it known at the beginning but not like that known. And then I feel like once marriage happened, because people's opinions sometimes change after you get married, which is sad because it shouldn't be. You should be treating the person, in my opinion, that you're with. If you are planning on marrying them, you need to treat them like you're already married before you get married, in my personal opinion. Because then when you do get married, you don't totally change your relationship just because of some status you're at. Shouldn't change, like, in my opinion. It should stay the same. You should be treating each other like you're already married if that's your plan together. So just advice from someone that has been married now and divorced, and I want to help as many people as I can avoid going through a divorce. Treat the person that you want to marry like you're already married to them, so they have an idea of what it's going to be like, and so do you. Just figure out how to make yourself feel that way, and hopefully they can too, so that way when you do get married, you don't just flip. Because that's kind of what happened in our situation. So we are both Christian, and if you know about that, you know marriage is a big deal and divorce is a really big deal. There's only two-ish reasons you can get a divorce in that belief, which is fine. Unfortunately, luckily he did not cheat on me, thank God. But other things did happen that you're allowed to get divorced for, which I know that probably sounds crazy, so don't come for me in the comments. This is just my personal opinion, or I probably would have never gotten divorced just because I was really determined to make that marriage work. I really was. I wanted us to be together forever. I think I'll always care about him to some degree, even though he wasn't the nicest human being. I still like want him to do well in life. I want him to have a good life. This is literally nothing to do with the divorce, sorry. Like I said, this is gonna be all over the place. I have no ill intentions toward him. I have no bad feelings, nothing. I want him to succeed. I want him to find love. I want him to be happy. I want him to be successful. I want him to have a good life. Literally, that's 100% what I want. It's just not gonna be with me, and that's okay. We got married though. Back to the reel it in. We got married, and the intimacy in our relationship died. So we were trying to not have sex before marriage, which we've already dated before, so we did not do that. We were younger, not a lot younger, but quite a few years younger, and we've known each other since we were kids. I was really good friends with his sister growing up, and when we were a little bit older, we became friends, and then we started liking each other, started dating. We dated for a little bit over a year then and lived together. He was really young. I'm 2 years older. He was 19 when we first started dating and almost 21 by the time we broke up. And obviously I was 2 years older than that. And so I was kind of already ready to marry him then. And then we broke up because he was so young and he needed to like experience life and whatever, which I get. So that's what he did. He went off for 3 years with working and just like experienced life. Came back, we got married. The first time we dated wasn't great towards the end either, so I should have just took that as a warning sign, but me being so determined to marry him, we got back together and that was the goal. And I made that clear. I made my intention super clear from the beginning. I wanted to get married to him. I loved him so much. I only wanted to marry him out of anyone I've ever been with. Marriage wasn't like a big thing for me. I really didn't want to actually get married, and neither did he, but we ended up deciding that was a good choice for us. So when that became like a choice, we stopped having sex because he was like, we need to stop for our marriage to be blessed, because that's part of the belief we have. So it was like this whole just halt, and I was like, okay. So for me, sex is a form of intimacy. It's not just an act you do. It's not like a meaningless thing that you do with people. I would personally not do it with just anybody. So being in an intimate, loving relationship, I'm not very intimate in general. I'm not super cuddly. I'm not super clingy. I'm not like overly affectionate or anything. So that was one of the main ways I showed intimacy to someone I love and care about in a relationship. So to have that taken off the table was actually really hard and made our relationship interesting for sure. Like obviously we messed up, we're not perfect, we're humans, so we would sometimes mess up on that. Not often, but it did happen. And we were gonna get married actually this year, 2020, but because of that new restriction, we ended up getting married in 2019. We started dating February 2019. Started talking about marriage probably like March, April-ish. June we almost eloped, and then there was a bunch of drama surrounded by that. So then October was when we decided, because fall is my favorite time of year. He liked fall. I wanted an outdoor wedding, but not like freezing outdoor wedding, so it was like perfect weather. And yeah, so that was that. I don't really know where I'm going with all this. I'm like literally all over the place. It's not gonna make any sense when I edit it. Taking that off the table definitely made things weird. So then when we finally were married, and this is like a backstory to why our intimacy died. So when we finally got married, we started that up again. Obviously you're married, you get excited, whatever. Then like a week, that died. Seriously died. It wasn't even a thing anymore. It was really rare. It was like pulling teeth. I went through a phase of feeling very unattractive, very unappealing, not wanted, because I don't know if men realize this, but when you stop showing that person like regular intimacy, which sex is part of that, when you stop doing that, women go through, and I'm sure men do too, I'm positive, we are humans, you go through a cycle of like, well, what's wrong with me? What did I do wrong? Am I not good enough? Like, am I not attractive enough? Am I like gaining weight or something and he just isn't attracted to me anymore? Am I losing whatever was appealing about me to him? Is he starting to want someone else? Like, you go through so many emotions when that's completely taken out of your relationship. And it does, it messes with you, because that is something that is, especially between husband and wife, that is something that is supposed to be reserved for you two, and do when you're finally married, have that just like completely off the table is super weird. Yeah, so that made a lot of issues. It was just weird. It was this like super hard thing to go through, and he just like didn't care. It was so sad. He just like did not care. He was just like, well, I'm so stressed and life is so stressful and I just can't deal with it which is fine, but instead of us actually like talking, it just never got there. Our communication was horrible. Nothing ever got resolved. Fights would blow up and then like never get fixed. It was just really sad. Like, we went through a lot of really unfortunate things and there's just no fixing them, because you can only do so much and you can only help someone so much, and they have to want to fix things, and if they don't want to, then you're not going to get anywhere. So that's just kind of how it went, and it went on like that for months. I kept going, and the relationship just kept getting more and more toxic. It was getting to the point I was becoming toxic, and I try really hard to keep a very like level, happy, healthy relationship. Fighting obviously is healthy to an extent. Screaming and yelling and calling each other names and being really rude to each other, that is not healthy. That is toxic. So it got toxic and just wasn't cute anymore. Nothing was cute anymore. Nothing was exciting anymore. It got to a point, so I have extremely bad anxiety. I keep it to myself as much as I can, because unfortunately I have been told like, get over it, basically, like you should just be able to be normal and fine and whatever. So it's one of those things that you like internalize after that, because you feel like people don't understand you, don't care, you're like being attacked. So I try to keep my anxiety to myself as much as I could. Because of that, it started leading to depression. I started getting super depressed. I like didn't want to wake up every day, didn't want to get out of bed. I would be like really sad, and I just wasn't myself, because I'm usually like a really happy, bubbly, excited person, and I just wasn't that anymore. I would be fine like with him gone. He would be like at work and I'd be okay after I finally got over that, and then every day he'd call me and be like, okay, I'm coming home from work. My anxiety would just kick in, and I was nervous. I didn't know how it was going to be when he got home. I didn't know what his mood was going to be, and it was just really sad. It just got to a point it was unlivable, because I was walking on eggshells. I didn't know what to expect anymore, ever, and it was just really unfortunate. Then we had issues. I am not a huge fan of his dad, and we started having issues with that, and I'm not going to get into them because I'm not trying to like be rude, but we had some issues and we don't get along, which is fine. We view a lot of stuff different, which is okay. It just made for a really hard like situation. I didn't want to be around him. I didn't want to go to his parents' house because I didn't want to see him. I absolutely adore his mother though. I love her so much. She's one of the sweetest human beings I've ever met, so it's really unfortunate that she's not in my life anymore, just because I've grown up with her since I was like 7 years old. So I've always loved her. She is like one of the kindest, most amazing human beings I've ever met. It sucked because I would love to see her, but I didn't want to see his dad. So it got to a point I didn't want to come around anymore. I wanted to avoid all situations like with him involved, and it just was getting unhealthy. It was just not a good, that's not how it should be when you're married. You shouldn't want to not be around each other's families and stuff, and like that causes a lot of tension and in your relationship. So yes, nothing is perfect obviously in life. You can't expect it to be all like sunshine and rainbows, but like as I'm like telling you guys, like I'm leaving a lot out because I'm not trying to I'm not on like a hunt for blood or anything. So but it just didn't work out. Basically, we're two completely different people, which we knew that from the beginning, but we figured opposites attract and whatever. They do, it's true, but like if you can't be somewhat like-minded, we don't like a lot of the same things. We don't have a lot of the same interests. We don't have a lot of this and that. The things we had in common was working out, hiking, spending time with our families. And that might be it, honestly, which is sad. I mean, our beliefs were the same, kind of. His beliefs were a little more strict. Mine are a little more open-minded. So that made a problem too, even though we were equally yoked. We clashed on that. I was judged a lot by the way I look, and that sucked. And like, he hated my tattoos, which I don't even know why we were even together in the first place, because it's like I had colored hair, tattoos, piercings. So it was just weird. I don't think I was his type at all. Definitely not. I think he likes the more clean-cut, blonde hair, super fit girls, which is fine. I am just not that, and I never will be that. I'm a colorful haired woman. I'm decently fit, and I have tattoos and piercings, and I'm just out there. So we were just so opposite that it was really hard to come together. So it got to a point like We just were doing really bad. We separated in March of this year, 2020. He moved out and moved in with some of his siblings, and I am with my parents. We were planning on eventually getting a house, which obviously, thank God we didn't, because that would have been a whole nother issue with the divorce. So he moved out March, like the end of March. And then through April and May, we were trying to make it work, kind of ish, sort of, not really. It was like weird. Like he just started doing whatever he wanted, which is fine. We were technically like separated in a way. He just wasn't like showing he wanted to fight for this marriage or anything, and that's kind of what I was hoping he would do, and it didn't happen, and that's fine. It is what it is. Because of that, obviously I wasn't gonna be fighting, because it's like, why only have one of us fighting to make it work if it's just not gonna work, you know? We ended up like hanging out on my birthday in May, and that went south real quick. Actually, it ruined the entire rest of my birthday night. I came home from hanging out with him crying. I was super upset because we were just fighting and arguing and just not getting along. And I'm like, okay, if we're still fighting and arguing and not getting along without seeing each other for like weeks, we're probably not saving this marriage. Like, it's going downhill quick and it's just not coming back. So in June, middle of June, my aunt actually helped me file. So I was really nervous. I didn't want to like mess anything up. You know, I've never had to file for a divorce, so I have no idea. And I wanted to make sure, you know, it's a legal document. I wanted to make sure it was all good and dandy and put together well. And he obviously was not being very cooperative with that either. And I was like, if we divorce and we're both like cooperative, this is gonna be a lot easier than if we're like fighting and there's nothing to fight over, but like fighting and making this hard to file it, and like, you know, I don't want to have to like have someone serve him or anything. I wanted it to just be calm and to go away. We filled everything out that we could, and then I had to go hunt him down because he wouldn't come and sign anything because it was so inconveniencing for him. So I had to go find him. We went, found him, you know, drove like 35 minutes away to have him sign this stupid paper to have it sent in. And I even tried like asking him, like, can you sign a piece of paper, take a picture of it, and then we can like, you know, put it onto the document. He's like, no, because that's illegal. I'm like, how is it illegal? You're signing it yourself. You know what's going on. I have it all documented in text messages. You know what's going on. He just refused. He wanted us to come find him because we were being just so inconveniencing for wanting the divorce done already. So I found him, had him sign everything. It was very uncomfortable. We ended up signing it in a gym. Yep, because he was at the gym. And it was very sad. I'm like crying in this gym because it sucks. Like, it's not like I was like super stoked to do this. It was really heartbreaking to do this, actually. This was probably one of the hardest things I have ever gone through, and I'm sure him too, I would imagine. This is not something easy. Divorce is not easy. It's very like emotional, all over the place. It's heartbreaking. It is what it is, you know? So we finally got that all done, sent it in on that same day in June, and then had to wait. So in mid-September, I was finally legally divorced of this year. It's been interesting for sure. Like, you go through an emotional roller coaster for sure. You go through like, I'm a failure, I messed up, like, what did I do wrong? Where did this go wrong? Why did it go wrong? What happened? Like, you just really analyze everything. It hurt, it's not fun, and it's just like a really unfortunate thing to have to go through. But at the same time, I'm actually really grateful for it because I'm a lot happier now. I feel like I can be myself. I don't feel like I'm walking on eggshells anymore. I'm not suffering from depression. My anxiety has calmed back down again for now, and it's not so unbearable and overwhelming all the time. You know, there's like so many benefits also to it, so it's not just all sad. Like, I'm very grateful that we can go on with our lives, live them however. We obviously have not talked since June. That was the last time we talked, the day we filed. It's been whatever. I'm a lot happier now. I'm like back into like a healthy workout routine. I'm back into eating healthy again. I'm back into having motivation to do things. I didn't film most of that relationship because it was just too overwhelming to like focus on a video and edit a video and just you know, all that. It was just too much with everything going on. So it's been really nice getting back to normal. Like, you know, you work on yourself, you figure out what you did wrong in the situation, and then you grow from it, hopefully. All this craziness happened, but I'm grateful it happened. I'm happy I went through it in a way. I'm happy I got to experience being married. Obviously I didn't experience it in the best way, but I still experienced it. I got to be a wife for a minute. You feel like really cool. It's weird, I don't know how to explain it. You just feel like excited and like awesome, and like you don't have to worry about dating ever again or finding love again because you found the person. But then you go through, like, you know, the opposite of that when you when you divorce. You feel like sad and like you're never gonna find anybody again. It's a day at a time for sure. For a while I feel like it definitely hit me a lot harder than I was expecting it to, but at the same time I'm starting to do better now. Obviously I had like a hard time this month. October 18th was not my favorite day, and then on the 17th my uncle actually passed away, so that was a really hard weekend to get through. We're here trying to be the best version I can be, but I definitely think it's something that takes longer than expected. It's not like a breakup. It's not just something you just get over. Not that a breakup's easy, but it's different, if that makes sense. Like, you vowed to be with this person forever and then you're not. So it's a little different, and it hits you a little different, and you go through different emotions. Like, I've been through some breakups, they are not like this, but it's okay. You gotta go through it, figure it out, hope for the best, and come out better, hopefully. And that is what I've been working on. I know this video is really sad and I'm like super serious in it because I'm usually not like this, but I figured I need to film this. I'm honestly sick of being asked if I'm married all the time. I'm not married anymore. I am divorced, unfortunately, and it is what it is, and it just didn't work out, and it just wasn't a good situation for us to be in, both of us. It just wasn't healthy. I think we're both better off alone for now, and hopefully we find great people eventually, and people that fit what we want out of life. We're opposite on quite a few things. Like, I personally don't like drugs at all, and I don't do them. I've never done them, and I don't plan on doing them, and I would like someone like that, and that's fine. He liked weed a lot, and I just don't, and it is what it is. I don't really care if like friends and family people do that, but the person I'm with I would prefer didn't, if that makes any sense. I feel like you hold the person you're with to a different standard that's just normal, or you would date everybody. Yeah, so there's just like quite a few things that we just didn't see eye to eye on, and ended up being huge issues as well. And so we ended up just not working. So my advice to people would be, really make sure the person you're with fits what you want. Like, it's not shallow, it's not rude, it's not any of those horrible things. It's your life, and you want to spend your life with someone. They need to match what you want, and you need to match what they want. And that is what it is. Obviously, like, not 100% perfectly whatever their ideal perfect is, because that's obviously unrealistic. But I mean, like, values, what you guys are okay with, boundaries, like, if you're cool with drugs or not, if you're cool with religion or not, if you're cool with whatever. You guys have to figure that out for yourselves and figure out what you're willing to put up with and not put up with. And if you're not willing to put up with it, no matter how much you love someone, you have to get out, because it's not going to change. So that is what it is. And yeah. So that is my divorce story. Hopefully I don't have to refilm this, because I hope this makes sense. I don't know if it's going to make sense, and it's really long. So I'm going to have to like cut this down and hopefully make it make sense. I don't recommend it. Don't get divorced if you can try really hard not to. Don't get married, especially if your intentions are you can just get divorced, because that won't work either. Don't get married if you're not ready. Don't get married if you don't want to get married. Don't get married because you feel pressured to get married. Don't get married for a lot of reasons. Get married because you want to be married to that person, because you love that person, because you want to be with them for the rest of your life, and you can already see that, and they can already see that. But make sure you guys are on the same page and like really ready to take that step, because it's a big step to take, and a divorce is a really hard step to take. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!